Let me tell you something that blew my mind when I realized it. The US military can pay you 3 times for the exact same work, not double, 3 times. And most people have no clue it is even possible. They sign the contract, do the time, get out, and never realize that the same years they already worked could have kept them paying them for decades. I will break it down for you in this video, step by step, because this is the kind of game nobody tells you about when you are signing that dotted line. And once you understand it, you will never look at your contract the same way again. The first time the military pays you is the obvious one, your paycheck. That is the one everyone sees. That is the one they show in the commercials. Your base pay, your BAH for housing, your BAS for food. That is your I'm in uniform money. But what most people don't realize is that even within that first stream, there are layers. If you have dependents, your BAH increases. If you are stationed in higher cost area, it increases again. If you deploy, you get special pays. If your job is dangerous or technical, you get bonuses. So even within your active duty pay, there is a whole mini playbook most people never read. Now, let's talk about the second payment. And this is the one civilians never understand. When you leave the military, the VA can keep paying you for life. That's free every single month. Because here is the truth. The body pays a price for service. It does not matter if you sat behind a desk or carried 50 pounds of gear every day. Everyone lives with something. Maybe it is your knees. Maybe it is your hearing. Maybe it is the sleepless night. The VA recognizes that, and that is what VA disability compensation is. The key is knowing how to document it correctly, knowing what to claim, knowing how to file it the right way. When I got out, I started at 60%. I could have stopped there, but I did not. I filed for an increase. I went from 60 to 70, then from 70 to 80, and then from 80 to 90. I stayed at 90% for a bit while I kept learning the system. Then finally, I hit 100% permanent and total. That is $4,500 every single month. That's free for life, no matter if I'm working or not. That is the second way the military pays you. For the same years you already worked. Most people never realize that those same 4 years can pay you for the rest of your life if you know how to play the game right. Now, here is the third payment. And this one is the one that takes your income from survival to stability. It is the civilian advantage. See, when you leave the military, you just don't live with benefits, you live with leverage. When you get out with security clearance, your resume jumps to the top of the pile. When you apply for jobs, you are a veteran. That title alone opens doors civilians cannot even knock on. Companies love veterans because they know what discipline looks like. They know you can handle stress. They know you show up. And that's the patriotic way to show you they respect you. That is why I tell people all the time, if you are eligible for a clearance, get it. Because that clearance follows you. You can walk out of the military with that piece of paper and it is like carrying a key to a vault full of 6-figure jobs. I have seen veterans with average experience work into cybersecurity and defense contractor roles just because they had that clearance. And you know what the crazy part is? They were doing similar work in the military, but now the civilian world is paying them 2 or 3 times more. Same skill set, different market. That is the third way the military pays you. So let's go over this again. Number 1, the military pays you while you are in uniform. Your check, your housing, your food, your medical, your security, your training, all of it. Number 2, the military pays you after you get out through your VA compensation, your disability rating, your education benefits, your home loan perks, your state level benefits, and your healthcare. 3, the military pays you again when you use those years of service as leverage to secure a high-paying civilian job or business opportunity. That is 3 separate income streams for the same exact 4 years of work. And if you think that is all, it gets even better because each of those payments can multiply. Let me give you an example. When you are active duty, your BAH is based on your location and whether you have dependents. That can easily be between $2,000, $2,500 or $4,000 to $4,000 a month, depending on where you are stationed. If you are married before joining, for instance, that money is yours from day 1 of training, and it is based on where your dependent lives at the time you are in training. You could literally be in basic training, not even seeing your spouse, and that BAH money is still hitting your bank account every single month. no receipt asked, no proof of expenses. That is thousands of dollars stacking while you are in training. Now, imagine you finish your service and start collecting $4,500 a month in VA compensation. Add that to your civilian job, maybe making $70,000 or more a year. You are now stacking income that keeps compounding. The same contract you signed at 21 or 22 could be paying you for life. The math does not lie. This is what I mean when I say most people don't understand the game. They think the military only pays you once. They think you do your 4 years, get out, and move on. But the ones who know the system, the ones who learn how to file, how to document, how to plan, those are the ones who walk away with 3 income streams. Let's talk about education for a second. That is another way your service keeps paying you. When I got out, I used my GI Bill to go back to school, but not just for the degree, for the housing allowance that came with it. The military literally paid me to study. My tuition was free. They were paying the school directly, and they were paying me a housing allowance every single month just for being a student. Most civilians go into debt for education. Veterans get paid to get educated. That's the difference. And here is where it gets even crazier. The VA can clear your student loans too. I have had $40,000 to $50,000 in debt wiped clean, gone, just because I had the right VA status. You can make this up. Imagine being in debt your whole life, working 2 or 3 jobs, trying to pay it off, when the system could have erased it for you if you just knew how to ask for it. That is what happens when you understand how the game works. Now, think about that same $44 that people hesitate to spend to join military school. People see the price tag for my school community and they think, oh, that's a lot. But they don't do the math. That $44 a month gives you access to the kind of information that could literally be worth hundreds of thousands over a lifetime, because I will hold your hand for you to do everything. It teaches you how to structure your contract, how to choose the right job, how to position yourself for clearance, how to maximize your benefits, and how to set up your future before you even sign up. If you join the US military without knowing this, you are leaving money on the table, real money, not hypothetical, the kind of money that pays mortgages, builds savings, and changes family. I have seen too many people rush to sign contracts they do not understand. They join the military for the paycheck, not the plan. And 4 years later, they get out with nothing, no benefits, no claim, no direction. They did not document injuries. They did not build credit. They did not invest in the TSP. They did not take advantage of the GI Bill. They just show up, worked, and left. That is like working a job that owes you 3 paychecks and only collecting 1. When I joined the US military, I did not know any of this either. I learned the hard way. I was figuring out on my own, asking questions, doing research, making mistakes. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a playbook. That is why I created the military school community, to make sure you don't have to learn the hard way, because I'm telling you this right now. If you understand how to set things up before joining, during service, and after you get out, you can literally turn one contract, only one contract, into 3 paychecks. So when people ask me, is the military worth it? I always say, it depends who is asking. If you go in blind, if you go in thinking it's just another job, you will probably hate it. But if you go in understanding that it is a system you can master, it is the single most powerful opportunity in USA, period. That is why I say the military pays you 3 times, because it is not about luck. It is about leverage. It is not about rank. It is about understanding. And the sooner you learn how the system works, the sooner you stop working for money and start letting the system work for you. If this video helped you, watch this next that you don't think will be helpful. If this opened your eyes to what is possible, do me a favor. Drop a comment and tell me what part surprises you the most. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to learn exactly how to set up your contract, file your VA claim, get your clearance, and stack your benefits the right way from day one, the link to my school community is in the description below. That is where I break all this down step by step. You can keep scrolling, or you can start learning how to make the US military pay you 3 times for the same work. The choice is yours. Peace. I'm gone.